Hi guys, welcome back to Pillars in the Shop. Yeah, it's been a little while since you heard from me, but I'm gonna try to start putting out videos a little more often. I probably have said that before, but I'm really gonna give it a good try. I'm also gonna try to get back to some of the woodworking stuff I was doing in the past. I had a lot of fun doing that. I was somewhat successful. A lot of the items I built turned out pretty nice. People liked them. And I got away from it, from doing other stuff, because I just wasn't too sure if everybody was going to get tired of seeing me do the wall hangings out of wood or this or that out of wood. So I started trying to do other things and bring you guys along with while I was doing them. I think the last thing I did, I put together a shelf. That's the last video I did. And I also did a video, put together a new barbecue grill. I haven't posted it yet, mainly because I haven't had a chance. Well, I have had a chance, I hadn't done it, to actually film it in action while it's actually cooking. But I'm gonna do that soon. So I'm gonna try to get back to, like I said earlier, do some woodworking stuff. And stuff a little bit different. I want to start working a little bit with glass, cutting some glass bottles particularly. Maybe make some lights for some of the wall hangings, and just to kind of not do the same old boring thing over and over. Use a little imagination. Look at some other stuff other people are doing. Get some ideas from that. And I don't feel guilty about that because everybody does it. Nobody. You have to have a brain as big around as my shop to be able to think of all the things that thousands and thousands of people have come up with, and they're nice stuff. And then you just take it and look at it and appreciate it, and say, I'm gonna try that. But I'm gonna put my little spin on it and see what I can make it a little bit better. Maybe I won't. It might be something that turns out to be pretty ugly, but it never hurts to try. It gives us something to do and bring you guys along with me. Good. All right, I'm rambling as usual, but we'll give you some idea what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a wine bottle, and let me grab one real quick. Wine bottle like this, and I'm gonna cut it probably about this high, about 4 inches off the bottom. And I'm gonna use the top I'm gonna install a light socket in it and put a bulb in it, maybe like the old Edison old-timey bulbs in it. And at the bottom, I'm gonna put like something, it almost look like a grow lamp, you know what I mean? And underneath there'll be some sort of flower or something like that, But most likely that's gonna be plastic, because it's really gonna be just for show. But I'm not gonna put an actual grow bulb in. I'm just gonna put like I said earlier, Edison type bulb in it to light up the bottom half. And I wish I could remember the word for it. But anyway, we'll put some greenery in it. It's a good word as any. And the bottom, have it shine down on it. And I was kind of torn in between whether to make it a wall hanging or a tabletop, make it a wall hanging or a tabletop item. Probably gonna make a tabletop item. And the reason for that is because it's gonna have a cord. And you can, for me, you can have the nicest wall hanging, build the nicest thing, make it the prettiest, add lights to it, make it stand out. But then get this old long ugly cord coming out the bottom of it to your wall plugs. Anyway, you got a cord coming out the bottom of it, going to the plug and plug it in, and it just takes away from the looks of it. So I think I'm gonna make this like a tabletop lamp. If the cord can just go over the back of it, go down the back of the table and plug in, you won't hardly see it. I want to do some things that you can hang from the wall or probably from the ceiling that's going to have cords. But I'm not going to use the same old black lamp cord like you see from most all lamps. I'll try to find some of that antique looking wire, see that'll dress it up a little bit. But anyway, That's the plan. And I think you guys are going to like it. Now, what I have to do is I'm going to cut this bottle. I'm not having much luck at cutting these bottles. I've tried, actually, let me go ahead and tell you the truth. I've tried 9 times. I got one that was usable. So not to, I didn't film that. I was practicing with it, trying out I got a bottle cutter for Christmas 7, 8 years ago. I probably wasn't that long, maybe 5 years ago. And I put it up on the shelf, said I was going to use that someday. And now I've decided to use it. And I'm not very good at it. I'm still learning how to do it. I've watched tons of videos, and I think I finally found a video that's showing me what I'm doing wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this bottle. If it doesn't turn out, that's okay. Like I say, I've already got one. Let me grab it. I've already got one. You can see. I already cut. And it'll work just fine for what I'm going to do. But hopefully I can cut the other one, and we'll see if I can figure it out. So let's do that before we do anything else. See if I can get that bottle cut. Take y'all along with me while I'm doing it. Stand by. Okay, guys, on this next segment, I told you I was going to cut the wine bottle, and actually I did that. As I explained again later on in this segment, working with 2 cameras can be a real hassle, and that's what I was doing. I had my phone camera set up looking straight at me as I do now, and I had my GoPro to the side pointing down to my work table. So as I explained what I was doing, I could go to that one. Well, as usual, I bumped the setting or something on the GoPro and took it from video to photo. So when I turned it on, I took a picture of me turning it on, and when I turned it off, I took a picture of me turning it off. So I lost all that information. So what I've done now is I'm going to create visuals and use the phone video, and then I'm going to edit in visuals of what I'm talking about. So I won't, since I've already scored the bottle for it to be cut, I won't actually be doing it, but I'll be explaining as we go along. I'll be showing you what I'm talking about in the part of the video where the camera was facing me, and I'll hold up what I'm doing, and I'll video it or edit the video so you'll see it. Blah blah blah. You'll figure it out. I know you understand. All right, so here we go. Bear with me, and we're gonna make this work. All right, guys. I got my bottle cutting device, and we'll see if we can cut a bottle. This is what it is. This one my daughter got me about, like I said, about 5 years ago. And the bottles I cut with this, well, one of the things I learned is you've got to have this thing on that bottle square. In other words, it's got to be the same distance all the way around. So if you're going to do a 4-inch cut, it's got to be 4 inches. If it's 4 inches here and 3 7/8 there, the cut's going to be off, because the cut, you want the cut to come back to the starting point. On this one, and I don't know if you guys be able to see it, but yeah, you might be able to see it right here. You see where it's off just a little bit from the starting point. I was still able to get it to separate half decent, but it's really, it really gonna make a big difference. You need to, like I say, get it going back to the starting point. The second thing is, and I'm kind of surprised by this, is I'm told to only make 1 pass around. You think they want you to make 2 or 3, but it does. This says just make 1 pass to score it. That's all it wants you to do. So let's do that. So I'm gonna take our device here, and you'll see how it works. You'll put the ball in here, of course. And these will be open. These little ears here will be open. You get the ball in there. This is going to be kind of snug up against it, but when you close these, they'll be even snugger. 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 This is going to be up when I'm doing that. Okay, let me get over here. This is going to be up when I'm doing that. And when I flip it down, you saw that move? It's going to go up against the ball. All right, and that's what scores the ball. So I'm going to take that, raise it up. I'm going to put my ball inside of it. I'm going to start from the bottom. All right, and what I'm going to do to try to get it square is I'm going to use a square. I'm going to put this part up against the bottom of the ball. I'm going to put the bottom of the cutter against here on both sides. That should get me pretty square. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of to do to get this thing square possible. The one thing I didn't mention, if you want to cut, say 4-inch cut, you got to be sure and put your cutting wheel. If you're measuring from the bottom up, put your cutting wheel on the bottom, because you can turn this thing around and put the cutting wheel on the top side, but then you're adding at least, look like to me, 2 more inches. So if you want a 4-inch cut, put your cutting wheel on the bottom at the 4 inches. Hope that's clear as mud. All right, let's see what we got here. And I'm not doing 4 inches, I'm actually doing closer to 3. All right, I'm gonna push that up there. That's where I want it there. And this isn't very easy to do because I'm trying to hold the bottle, hold that on there, not move it when I'm checking, see like that and it's off. There we go. That's what I want right there. Check the bottom. Well, this ain't helping me. There we go. Check the bottom again. Bottom is off. This is a hard, see this device, this cutting wheel is a little bit of a challenge to use. I think that's pretty good, what I can tell. Of course, this bottom isn't square as it can be. So I think we're there, and we're there. So let's lock it down and see what we got. Now, if you don't think it's tight enough, it's not tight enough. I just felt it move. You can tighten up from the bottom a little bit. So let's do that. Put it back on here. See, that's done moved away from it a little bit. There we go. Check the bottom now. That's pretty close. That's not. Now it's close. That's pretty close. Pretty close. Pretty close. Let's see if I can tighten it up now. The bottom nuts. You got to be careful. You can get it too tight. You get too tight, we can't roll the ball in it once you put the cutter up against it. So it's a balance of getting it tight enough to where you got to square it up at the bottom of the bottle and still be able to turn it to get the cutter to do its thing. So let's see where we're at again. One more time. Close enough. Close enough. All right, I'm gonna say that's about as good as it's gonna get. Tighten it, snug it up just a little bit more. I'm gonna drop my. All right, as you can see, I got it tightened up. I got my cutting wheel down against the bottle. So I'm gonna spin it, and I'm only gonna spin it once. I'm gonna spin it, and I'm only gonna spin it once, and we'll see what kind of cut we get. And we'll see if I can even spin it, see if I tighten it up too much. No, it sounds, it's a little too tight. I can't turn it. That's the danger you have is, like I say, tighten up those bottom nuts. Is you can get it where it's too tight and you can't turn it.
I'm not really impressed with. I'm sure it's. I hate to say I'm not impressed with this device, and I probably just don't know what I'm doing with it. But I have to get up here and get a handle on it. See, that don't sound good. All right, but we got it going now. Tell you something else. This bottle, to me, seems like I don't know if y'all can see that in that camera. Uh, I know you can't, but I'm trying. I had to put it up against my chest to try to turn it, but now it's starting to turn on its own. And we're about to the end. Almost. Come on, baby. Don't put them in it. There we go. That was a very good cut. I did a good measuring on there. I am shocked. All right. Let's get it off of here. I'm going to loosen it up. Take that off. Hoping y'all can see that. But that's right about there is where I started and where I stopped. And it's almost dead on. Looks like a pretty good cut to me. All right, the next part is you have these rubber bands. I don't really understand the science behind them, but you have to put these on that bottle. You put them about a half inch on each side of that score line. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it right there, about a half inch all the way around. Oh, that score line, don't break your bottle. I about had a little extra wine in it. I can't believe Candace left that little bit of wine in that bottle. You know, she's the one that drank all that wine in these 10 bottles I told you I've cut. All right. I drank some too. All right, so I've got this. Well, I got this on there getting pretty tight. I don't know what tight matters, but hope you can see. And I'm saying that because I have a second camera here, and you probably already know that it's GoPro. But to keep it from overheating, I have it set up to where the screens turn off. So since the screen is turned off, I'm guessing that it's getting what I'm doing down here in front of it. I don't know why I do two cameras. Let me tell you what, if you've ever done two cameras, do videos, editing sometimes is an absolute nightmare. Actually, sometimes editing, it doesn't go well and you lose a lot of footage, but I still like trying. But anyway, so you can see they cut one all the way around. This is probably the best one I cut and all the ones I've cut. All right. The next part is to get the hot water hot and the cold water cold. So we'll be back for that here next. Okay, guys, we got our water boiling. So let's see if we're going to be able to get us a clean cut on our bottle here. Let's see what happens. So I've got boiling water in this pot, and I've got ice water in this bowl. The past few times I've done this, first time I filled the pot up pretty full and sank the bottle all the way up here. Then I had another pot with ice cold water in it, and I dropped it all the way into here that deep. It didn't work out. Then I tried it that deep on hot water, that deep on cold water. It didn't work out. And I think the science behind that is it's too much bottle to get in temperature changes. What you really want is just the center where the score line is. That's where you want the temperature change. So I saw a video on YouTube, and I'm gonna pour hot water over the score line, and I'm gonna pour cold water over it. May take a couple times, but we'll see and see if we can't get this thing to separate cleanly. So here we go with the hot water. Throwing quite a bit on. I want to get it pretty hot. Trying to keep it pretty level so the water stays in between these two rubber bands, which I didn't do a very good job of right there. All right, let's try the cold water. I hear something separating. Heard some crackling. It hasn't separated yet. Let's warm it up one more time. And we'll see what it does. Hope it don't fall down in there and burn me. Oh, yeah. It's definitely, I think it's going to be a bad break. Matter of fact, I'm positive it's going to be. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't score it well enough. When I say that, I think I see the crack going. Yeah, it's not going to be a good break. Oh, yeah, you can see what this looks like. That's been the story for me so far. And all that I can figure is that I'm not scoring it well enough. It looks like wow, 4/5 the way around it did just fine. But one spot it didn't. So I'm gonna probably say, looking there, I can see the score line right there. I'm gonna probably say I didn't score it well enough. Okay, that's how you learn. Can't just got to get to drinking more wine. All right, we got a good bottle. We're gonna move on. All right, guys. After that fiasco with that wine bottle cutting, we're gonna move forward. Okay, as I said earlier, I'm gonna try to make some sort of. It's gonna look like a planter, uh, artificial planter, and I'll show you exactly what my ideas are, and you'll understand. I got a couple boards here that actually were from, I think, a bed frame or something. As you can see, these holes in the top here and all that. And I'm gonna try to recycle this wood, reuse it. I have to throw it away. I think once we sand it down and all that, clean it up, and put our stain on it, it's gonna look really nice. All right, the plan is going to be to put a board at the bottom for the bottom of the wine bottle to sit on, just like that. The top part, and I've already been playing around. Gotta be careful. I don't want to drop this bottle. That bottle falls off here and break, and I'm in trouble. All right. The top, which I've already been playing around with, drilling holes in it to see what size I needed, turned out to be 1.1 inch. I'm going to put this in that biggest hole, and it fits nice and tight. And that's good. And I'll add a little glue to it or something to make sure it stays in there. That is going to go kind of like this. It won't be that high, of course, but I'll glue it about the middle of the board. I'll center up both of these, the bottom and top, so they look just at the same height. I'll probably put this right about up here. Give a little distance in between there. I have a light already that I'm going to put into it. I'm going to use, again, repurposed. That's going to be it right there. I'll take that nut off, get it off the wire. I'll run it up in there, and I'll use this nut and I'll drill a hole in through the 2x4 on the top. Now I'll tighten it down there. I'll tighten it down so it'll stay. I think this is going to be pretty close. Not going to be that much of that sticking out. That's going to be real good. Then, of course, I'll just run the wire down the back, maybe attach it with a little bit of glue or something, little tack nails to hold it in place, and then you can plug it in. And this is going to be like to set on a table or something. You don't really want to hang it on the wall. You could, but as I said earlier, then you got that extension cord, not extension cord, but the cord that feeds the light bulb going all the way down your wall. You know, sometimes a lot of people they don't bother. Some things it don't bother me on some stuff, but some stuff it does. But anyway, that's going to be our light. The part that's going to be a little bit tricky, and we'll try to do it this way. Let me get this off here before it rolls off, and then I got to try to cut another one. It's going to be this one right here. When it sits, like I showed it, when it sits on there, I got to do something so it doesn't just any little bit of movement, you know, bump it or something, to go flying off, hit the floor, shatter, or something like this. So something's got to keep it there. There's two different things I could do. I could try to drill a hole in here big enough, and I have a hole saw big enough for that. Problem with a hole saw is it's only going to cut a circular hole around it. Then I'm going to have to cut it out with a wood chisel. I can do that. I have some very good wood chisels. They're very sharp. I'm not very experienced with them. I might be able to chip it out and sand it out, make it look decent. Because, like I say, this will sit in it most of the time. But if we don't get it right, it might be sitting a little crooked and all that. But it may come to me doing that. Before I first, though, what I'm gonna try is instead of drilling down in here, of course, it'll be a wider board. There's two of them I have here, and I'll show you one of them. If I do that and chip it out, it'll be off a piece of this. Or my other thought is to take this one here, this hole saw here, drill all the way through. Of course, then that's going to leave a hole in it. But then come back with a bigger hole saw, drill the same spot. There's about quarter-inch difference, probably not that much. Probably barely a quarter-inch difference. Well, probably 8. Let's see what it says. That says 4-inch. This says 4.5. So I'll probably get, if I've done right, I have good luck at it, I'll get a quarter-inch ring. And with that quarter-inch ring, then I can take it and I can attach it to the bottom of this here, right there. It'll be a ring on it about 1/2 inch thick, 1/2 inch high. Then I can set that down in it. Of course, the ring will only be about this high. And that, when I attach it, it'll keep this from falling off. And it'll stay there. It won't be this loose. But anyway, that's my plan. That's how I'm going to try to do it. We'll see if that works. The rest of it's going to go pretty easy. I'll make some measurements, see exactly how long I need to be. I think I'm going to make these boards about 6 inches. Cut 6 inches. I'm going to use this one as the back. I'm going to cut this one up. I'll cut it about 6 inches, and that'll be what I'll stand here. And I'll cut another 6 inches. That's the one that'll go here. And I'll drill a hole in it for the, I'll drill the 1 inch, 1.1/8 hole in it. 1.1/8 hole in it for the ball to go into. But then I'll go on through with a smaller drill bit for the wire to go on through. So maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Maybe I'm wasting some time. You guys understand what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna get set up and go there on the drill press. I'm gonna use a drill press because that way I can lock everything down. Once I drill the first hole, I'll just take this hole saw out of there, put the bit in it, and this one, the bigger one, put it up in the drill press, come back down. It should be centered right on the first hole. And I should be able to drill and end up with a ring. Drill through it, end up with a ring, if I'm lucky. If this turns out to be too thick, this one board I showed you, I have another one that's a little thinner. Might try it, but I'll have to take off about 1/2 inch because it won't fit inside my drill press vise. And that's important to have that vise because that's what keeps that board from moving. Because if I get off, I may still have a ring, but it might be 1/16 of an inch on one side. And 3/16 on the other side. We don't want that in. So, okay, let's set up with the drill press and see if I have any luck drilling that. All right, guys, so it might look a little funny in the video, like got a little shade on me, because I do. I don't have very good shop lighting. Half of them are out. Got to work on that. So I'm relying on the sun. So I'm right at the edge of my door of my shop. Get all the light I can, but if I put the cameras in direct sunlight, they get hot and they quit. So I had to lower the garage door a little bit, set the cameras up to get this shot. Anyway, that's enough talking. I've got the first hole saw bit in there. We'll drill the first hole after that. I may turn it off, turn the cameras off, and drill the second hole. You've all seen one hole drill sitting over. I might not, I might just leave it on. We'll just see if I quit babbling, if we're gonna make the video that much longer. So let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can get the first hole drilled. Oh yeah. Woo! I might have heard that slung out and got me. Okay. So we got the first one in. I'm gonna take out the hole saw, change the arbors, come back, stick it in, and see if we can get the second hole drilled. Stand by. All right, cross your fingers. Did not work. Nope, did not work. What it is that there's not enough. There's not enough wood left there between those two drill bits. That's what we ended up with. That's too bad. It did good in here. I mean, there's nothing wrong there. That was worth a try. That's all I could do was try that. So what I'll end up doing is, like I said previously, I'll end up drilling the hole that one piece and see if I can't chip it out with a wood chip. So anyway, it was worth a try. Okay, guys, I'm gonna cut these the parts that the bottom sits on and the top half of the bottle screws into or hangs from. I'm gonna cut those 6 inches long. Okay, I'm going to cut this one right even with the bottom of this hole here. That's my plan, and that's what we're going to have for our planter. That'll determine the height. Strap. Now these little things, you see these little pigs, I'll cut them off smooth, sand over them, and we stated they should pretty much, probably not completely, but pretty much blend in. Thought about a couple of different things to do. I could use hot glue. I'm gonna take that one I did yesterday, and I won't make you guys suffer through it, but I'm gonna hot glue it, the one that didn't work out, to a piece of this wood, and see how well it adheres to it. If it's good and stuck and tight, and that's what I'll do, because I'll just run some hot glue. Remember, these are concave. You know, the bottom goes in a little bit. So I'll run some hot glue right around in there. And when I set it down on the board, it should squeeze through all these little fluting, I guess you would call it. And maybe that'll help make it adhere a little better. All right, guys. I took that piece of a bottle that I cut the other day or yesterday. Didn't turn out, and I tried gluing it to a scrap piece of wood with some hot glue. Winner. Look at this. So I think we solved the problem of how to keep that bottom half attached to the bottom of the plant stand. So, all right, now all you gotta do is stand those boards down. I'm not gonna make y'all sit through that because everybody's done sanding. Everybody that's watching this is done sanding, and then get them ready to get stained. And I'll be back and we'll see if we can get them put together. So what this thing's gonna look like. Okay, guys, I've got them sanded. It looks pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually decided I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it and drill the hole for the bottle, the top half of the bottle. The light's gonna be in. I'm gonna do all that because I think that if I waited, go ahead and stain it and then assemble it, I may have some edges that don't look that good or whatever, and I end up turning around and have to sand some edges and clean it up, make it look a little better. And then I just go back. Then I have to go back and restain it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I've already got it marked, and I'm gonna put 3 holes on each one, all the way through. And I'll countersink this a little bit so the heads of the screws won't stick outside the back and won't look quite so rough. And then I may very well run the drill bit into here a little bit to make sure I don't split the wood, because I don't think I would anyway. But I'll put a little glue on there once I get ready to screw them on. I'll screw them on each end. But first I have to I need to do the hole for the bottle. You know, remember I showed you how the cap was going to fit in here, how it fit real snug. Well, I need to drill a hole now in the center of the top board for that cap.